Here's how to tap into lucky girl syndrome, even in a busy workday, so you can have more to appreciate and appreciate more in your life. Welcome back to Align Your Day. It's your certified life coach, Jenna. How are you? Sending you extra love for your day, and I'm just saying, let's buckle up. Let's get ready to buckle up because we're going to talk about lucky girl syndrome today. So that'll be fun. And we're going to talk about how to really stay in appreciation in your life, the little things and the big things you can start to do in order to shift and feel more abundant, more appreciative in your life, and really feel like you have more and more to appreciate and really feel like you're lucky, basically, right? You're like a lucky girl. So lucky girl syndrome is basically just bringing your focus to what's working in your life already, to tapping into the feelings of appreciation, of abundance, of feeling lucky already, so that you can start to build that muscle of that emotion, feeling safe in your body, and slowly start to allow more things in to appreciate. So you can think about it even in the sense of like, I don't know if you've had like a friend tell you this or if you've had this happen to you personally. Usually when you're feeling good about your life and you're feeling like really joyful, really like in your own like power and just feeling good, that's usually when you like meet someone, right? I mean, I definitely like that has happened to me. Like I remember that like one of meeting one of my exes when like I was just like having a good ass day. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna text this guy happy birthday, like thought nothing of it, and then ended up dating him for like 2 years. So it's just like funny how when you start to get into that state of feeling appreciation, of feeling like you're lucky already with what's in your life, you can really start to allow more of that emotion in the form of people and new experiences, more money, all those things, right? And so you might be asking, Jenna, that's great, but how can I really start to feel that way, especially if I'm feeling like Workday's busy, I don't have time to do 50,000 different mantras and like, meditations, an hour meditation, an hour morning routine. And that's totally fine, babe. Like you do not need hours and hours to sit in appreciation. It's just about little things and little keys you can start to do to hold yourself accountable to feeling appreciation, to cultivating more appreciation in your experience, because you have that choice to do so, you have that ability to do so. And so I just invite you to start to welcome in more of that appreciation. And so one little key you can start to do is see where your desires are already present in some form in your life. So for example, let's say your desire, right, is more savings, more abundance, more overflow in the form of financial savings, right? So that may be like what you're desiring, right? And so you might be like, oh, I really want to have like a couple $1,000s, being able to save like a couple more $1,000s in savings or a lot more $1,000 in savings or whatever the case may be, right? I'll give you a hypothetical example. So let's say you want to be saving $100 a week, but you're only saving $50 a week right now, right? Can you bring your mind and body to even just a little bit of appreciation for what you're already able to do, right? You may not be at that ultimate desire yet, but can you appreciate where that desire is a bud in your life currently? Is still in your life. It may not be to the extent that you want, but it's still in your life now. And can you like appreciate that? So, whether that be just sitting and really, as you're putting money in your savings, just sitting a couple extra seconds and being like, oh, you know what, sure, I'm not at the ultimate amount of overflow I want to have yet, but I can really sit and appreciate the overflow that I'm able to have right now and sit and cultivate that and really feel that appreciation. Like you have overflow. Sure, you might want it in a bigger, larger form, but you have it. So can you allow yourself to just sit in that for a little bit? And if you need help practicing sitting in the feeling of appreciation and kind of like extending the amount of appreciation you can feel, I actually just created a meditation that's specifically for lucky girl syndrome and feeling more appreciation in your life. So it's linked in the show notes if you're listening to the podcast version, and I'll go ahead and just like pop it up here on the YouTube too. If you want to go ahead and listen to this will allow yourself to build that muscle of growing in appreciation and really focusing on that. And like I said, you can start to do this by realizing where your desire is already present in some form in your life and appreciating that, right? I even have like another example of, I was in like a community with a few women, and we were talking about different desires. And this one woman was like, I finally, got the job the offer that I had wanted for a while when I started appreciating what my current job offered. And I'm not to say that, and it's not to say that that's like the exact formula to receive your next desire, but when you're not already appreciating like what's already working in your life and where your grand desire is already present in little ways, it's going to be hard to get your body and your nervous system on board to welcoming more of that because it might not feel safe to you. You might think, oh my gosh, like, duh, I want more joy. Duh, I want more love. Duh, I want more abundance in my experience. But your mind and body might not be on board for that. Your nervous system might not feel safe to hold more joy, to hold more abundance, right? And the ways that you can start to build that nervous system to hold more, I'll put my visual up here. This is like the nervous system's window of tolerance. You want to do things that will grow your window of tolerance to hold more of those positive emotions. So you can start to do this by, like I said, focusing on where your desire is already present in little ways, really feeling that emotion in your body, in your mind, and getting your nervous system to be like, it's safe to feel joy. It's safe to feel joy for an extended amount of time, to feel appreciation for an extended amount of time, right? And you can do this by like literally such little ways of before you're starting your workday, sitting and just being like, okay, how can I tap into appreciation, for a few seconds before I open up my emails for the day? And like have it be like a fun game. Maybe one day you sit in appreciation for 30 seconds. Maybe the next day you're like, I'm going to try this for a minute now. And you don't need to build it up to an hour or 2 hours, but just those little things of making it like a mini ritual for yourself, and seeing where you can already tack it on to one of your work tasks. So let's say at 1 p.m. you have this recurring meeting that you have for your project team, right? Like since it's kind of like automatically in your day already, can you start 2 minutes before that? Can you tell yourself, okay, whatever work I have, I'm going to log on to the Zoom meeting 2 minutes before, mute myself or get myself in the Zoom screen before, and before I officially join the meeting, sit in appreciation. Basically, you want to do things where you can easily tack on these little muscle builders throughout your day of growing in appreciation. So if you have something that's recurring throughout your day, like a meeting invite, because I know a lot of you are busy working women, just see what's already in your day, whether that be recurring meetings, whether that be usual times you check your emails throughout the day, and just tell yourself, a minute before I do this, can I sit and can I really feel appreciation for what's in my life currently? I just call those little tack-ons, because your mind's already geared towards doing one task, and you want to start to merge that task with something little, building that appreciation. And it makes it easier when you're already tacking it on to what your day holds, right? So that's one little key that you can start to do, and you could just tack that throughout your workday in little ways. You could do it 2 times a week to start, go to 3 times a week, and then maybe you build up to 5, but just find those little moments and pockets throughout the day where you can tack on that appreciation building muscle and kind of see where your desire is already present. I know I might have said that a bunch, but I just want to reiterate. And the second key that is important when you want to grow your lucky girl syndrome in your busy workday is to focus on celebrating others and yourself. Really focus on celebration. It's so easy to go on to the next thing, right? But how can you ensure that you're a vessel of celebration when you want to be? So that can look like, sending that extra thank you at the end of a work meeting to your manager or to whoever led it, and just saying, thank you so much. You did a great job. I learned XYZ, right? Celebrating that other person. Celebrating yourself. Maybe you did something new in a work day that you normally wouldn't have, right? It's so easy to just view it as just added stress and something you don't want to do. But when you accomplish that, be like, oh damn, I did this. Yes, shift that, you can shift that into more celebration, and that allows you to feel more of that appreciation that you could be craving, right? So where can you really acknowledge whether your mentors, whether your peers, whether people that are working for you in your work, during your workday, where can you really ensure you're being that vessel of celebration? Because that allows you to have more to celebrate in your life and kind of be that magnet for celebration, for appreciation. So this is just such an easy thing you can do. And I was inspired because one of my girlfriends had told me, it was International Women's Day, and she was like, Jenna, make sure you email your bosses or ping your managers, whoever are a woman, and just send that extra thank you to them. I'm sure it'll go a really long way. And I had thought to do it to my friends. I had thought to do it to just like my mom and stuff, but I was like, you know what? Let's bring this to my workday. Let's bring this to my job that I, have for a lot of hours of the day. So I went ahead and I messaged and just sent thank yous and celebrations to like my woman that I'm working with. And that like literally was such a huge compliment. They loved that. They loved hearing that. So just little things like that where you can ensure that you're being that celebration, even in a busy workday. How can you be that vessel of celebration in your team in little ways or in big ways? It can be as easy as sending a little ping or like a little message, or maybe sending an email or like a gift card, whatever the case may be. How can you really remind yourself that it's safe to celebrate others and it's safe to celebrate yourself? Right? Because a lot of us have this correlation of, oh, if we're helping others win, then we're not winning, or there's always this competition. When we want to create a world that has more support, that has more equity, right? We want to make sure we're celebrating others, putting other women up especially, and not tearing each other down. So how can you be that vessel of celebration? That'll help you feel really lucky because you'll start to get that appreciation and that celebration back. So that's like another key that is important with that. So yes. The third thing is really, I think this could be maybe like a blocker that people don't realize. And one thing that I do want to interject and say, lucky girl syndrome is not about bypassing any negative emotions you're feeling or just being like, okay, I'm just going to think positive 24/7. Like, yes, like everything's amazing. Yay. That's not really what it is. You want to always, let yourself process and feel what emotions are present for you. And after you've built that muscle of really getting in tune with your emotions, really knowing when you've processed emotions, which is what I can work on with you in our one-to-one coaching. I could teach you how to process emotions. I could teach you how to sit with yourself and ensure that you're working through any guilt, working through any sadness, working through any shame that you may be feeling, so that you can really move through the day with more of a clean slate. And from that clean slate, consciously choose, appreciation, consciously choose more joy in your life, consciously choose more happiness in your life, because your body, your nervous system won't feel so bogged down by suppressed emotions. So if you need help, like working with your emotions and ensuring you're properly releasing your emotions so you can really come to a clean slate and feel this appreciation, feel like more lucky girl syndrome in a healthy way, and not doing it in a way that's bypassing any negative emotions and going to slowly lead to more like suppression and numbing out in the future, because you keep just thinking everything's positive and being like very toxically positive. If you want help with that, then go ahead and DM me and we can see if I can set up like an hour call with you, or we could do a 30-minute discovery call, or if you want to book in coaching right away, and you know that this is for you, just go ahead and look at the links below, and I can definitely get you started with that, because there's always it's always important to note that you're not being toxically positive and you're not just bypassing emotions that really need to be processed through you. So, the lucky girl syndrome is about choosing appreciation, choosing abundance when you're in that clean slate, but not bypassing any negative emotions. And I want to just be really clear with that. So that's that. And so the key with this, right, that kind of ties along with what I just said, is the next key is working through any guilt that you might be having that's holding you back from really feeling like you deserve appreciation, from really feeling like you deserve to feel more joy in your life, to feel like you're a lucky girl, right? Because a lot of us don't realize that guilt, shame, especially as women, is holding us back. It's stored within our DNA, it's stored within our bodies. And it's really key that we're allowing ourselves to process that so we can really own our worth. We can know that we deserve to choose abundance, that we deserve to choose appreciation in our life, and we deserve to have more to appreciate in our life. And we can consciously tell ourselves that. We can say, yes, I appreciate what's in my life. Yes, I want more abundance. Yes, I want more XYZ. But sometimes our subconscious, right, and the signals of our body still show that we have some shame to work through, that we have some guilt to work through. And so it's really important that you start to notice that and you start to work through that, right? And I know you might be like, okay, well, what's like a easy first step, rather than just, if you don't want to go initially to coaching, right? Just ask yourself, in the past, maybe in my childhood or in moments that were hard, what did I feel in those moments? Was it sadness? Was it guilt? Or where did I feel guilty in the past? And allowing yourself to just sit and be present with what's coming up for you, in those moments. And for me, for example, I was able to realize that I had a lot of guilt driving a lot of my actions, because in the past when I was growing up, some of like the most, I kind of like do an exercise with my clients with this, but some of the most like quote unquote hard moments in my childhood all tied back to feeling guilty for making my parent feel a certain way, for making one of my parents feel like sadness or whatever. It was always tied to guilt for me. And so guilt was a huge emotion that I still had stored within me that I have to consciously work through and work through and remind myself that I'm worthy of having more to appreciate. I'm worthy of XYZ. I don't need to feel guilty and let guilt drive my actions, because when guilt drives your actions, you're not really, setting boundaries, speaking out for yourself in a very empowered way. You're doing it in a way that's not in service to yourself and just trying to please others. And that ultimately is just going to lead to resentment towards that other person, towards your work, towards whoever, right? So just a conscious note is like to ensure that you're working through any guilt you may have, because that will allow you to, like I said, tap into more happiness, more abundance, more joy on a more consistent level, because you're coming at those emotions from a clean slate. And if I'm going to pop this little vibrational scale of emotions onto this YouTube video. And if you're listening to the podcast, you can just look at it. I'll like link it down below. But essentially there's a scale, there's a vibrational scale of basically the vibration that each emotion holds, right? And so if you have a lot of very low vibrational emotions in you, whether that be shame, whether that be guilt, that's not bad to feel those emotions, but you need to let them process through you so that your body feels safe in holding more of those higher vibrational emotions, like joy, like abundance, like peace, right? So the key to really staying in this lucky girl syndrome more consistently is working through any of those lower emotions, quote unquote, that are holding you back. They're not bad. They're not invalid. It's all emotions, there's not good, there's not bad, but there's just ones that you need to perhaps work through in order to consciously choose more good feeling ones, basically, right? Like we all want to feel more happy, right? Don't we? So it's just important to work through that. And the last little key here that I'm going to leave you with when it comes to lucky girl syndrome in your workday is leaning into receiving, okay? So when someone gives you a compliment in your workday, maybe you did a great job on your proposal, maybe you did a work deck and you absolutely killed it. When your manager says, great job, you did amazing, you don't need to overcompensate. You don't need to say, oh yeah, but I should have included this. And yeah, thank you, but like I really should have said it this way. Can you just say thank you? And can you let yourself receive that, okay? Trust me, I'll be the first to raise my hand. It's very difficult to do this. But the more you build that muscle, it reminds, like I said, going back to my key thing, it reminds your body, it reminds your nervous system, it's safe to receive this good feeling emotion. It is safe to be acknowledged. It is safe to feel appreciation for myself, right? So, if you want to build on feeling like this lucky girl, allow yourself to receive more. So when you get that compliment, say yes and receive it. Be like, damn, be like a little sponge in that moment. Damn, I feel so good to receive that someone like acknowledges me, and let yourself feel that appreciation in that moment. We were out at dinner, like for one of my best friend's birthday, like a couple weeks ago, and we all went around and said something that we appreciate about her. And at first she was like, you could tell she was uncomfortable. She was like, stop. And I totally the same way too. But it's like, I had to remind her, I had to be like, okay, sit and just receive this right now. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna receive this. And she sat and she let herself just feel the emotions that were coming up as people said all these amazing things. She let herself receive that. And I think that was a very positive and empowering moment for her, just reminding her that it's safe to feel that appreciation. So what can you start to do in your workday to like really sit and allow yourself to receive, right? Let's say someone wants to take something off your plate. Can you say, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Yes, that'd be amazing. And of course you don't need to do this 24/7 if you actually can handle it, right? But if there's someone who's willing to help you and who wants to, allow you to receive more peace in your day or receive less stress, allow yourself to say yes to that. So just ask yourself in little ways, how can I start to receive more in my day, right? And just really lean into that, because that will help build, like I said, that muscle of appreciation, growing in appreciation, and feeling like the lucky girl in your life, which you deserve to feel. So those are just some keys for you that I thought were very easy, very applicable, that you can start to do in your workday. And really that one hidden one that's really key too, which is working through those lower emotions and ensuring that you're doing that. But these are little tips and tricks you can do and you can start to implement literally tomorrow in your day, in your workday, So I hope it's empowering. You deserve to feel like the lucky woman in your life. Forget lucky girl, lucky woman. Am I right? Because you're a grown woman. But I hope you have a beautiful day. Cheers to you. I appreciate you. So thank you for being here. And I'll talk to you soon.